rise for a pledge of allegiance. I do have a cool flag here.
Oh, look at you.
All right, so ready? Pledge allegiance
Pledge
to the
allegiance to
flag
the flag
of
of
the
United States of America and to the republic
for which
for which
it
it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. I did not receive any comments from the public, and I don't see anybody online, though I see D.
Deb.
Is that?
Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Hello. Hold on.
Is that Deb Glass?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Deb.
Hello.
All right, so we are looking at the meeting minutes from November 19th, 2024. My understanding is there is some corrections. Margaret, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
You,
I have revised the minutes to reflect Jan's input on the section regarding the age-friendly community subcommittee. I sent a copy to Ed. I could put it in the chat what Jan has, enhanced. But I think most of us would agree that Jan would know what to put.
Well,
Jan, do you have the substantive changes?
The only
mention what they
changes
are?
were to bring up the fact that I had talked about the items that we had talked about, including in our action plan, including the solar table and the social inclusion opportunities. So we had discussed that. So that got in there, and I was most concerned that our student representatives got
Yes.
notification,
Mhm.
and they are in there. So
Yeah.
that's
Good.
great.
So
Terry,
there's
great job.
that section in the
Yeah.
in the chat if you want to review it, and the introduction to the student reps I'll now post as well.
All right,
And
great.
then I'll just plug them into the minutes where they belong.
Great.
All right. Anybody else have any other additions, corrections, deletions? If not, we have a motion to accept the minutes of November 19th with corrections noted.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Thank you. BOS report. Hi, Diana. Diana, can you unmute?
Yeah, I was trying to
There we
unmute
go.
it. I'm in my car. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
driving. I'm not
Okay.
driving, just so you know. I'm
Hope
just
you
I'm
have the heat
parked.
on.
I do have the heat on. I actually have to be at Eno, so I'm just parking in front of Eno and then going in after.
All right, good.
So Board of Selectmen report. We had an extremely long meeting for our first meeting of the year. The big important thing, well, there was a lot of important things that happened. But regarding something I brought up in the past and regarding Aging and Disability Commission is we did approve from the Board of Selectmen, we approved the purchase of the building next to the high school to West Street. And now that is going to the Board of Finance, where there's going to be a public hearing. And, so it's a collaboration between the Board of Ed, the Board of Finance, and the Board of Selectmen. We approved the dollar amount for the purchase price and specific contract for that building to be executed once it clears public hearing and the Board of Finance. And that is for the special education program in that building for the Pathways program and identified students to bring back in district. And I want to make sure that people understand that when we say identified students coming back into district, we're not ripping students out of a program that is working successfully for them. These are students that have been identified, first of all, for this specific program. So it's not every single special education student, specific to this program, and that who have been identified who would benefit from returning to the district and who would like to be returning to the district. So we're not looking to rip students out of a program that is working well for them that would not benefit from being back in the district. Two of those students, just so people understand the cost savings of bringing them back into district, two students out of the 6 that we have identified is costing the town $1 million to outplace
Wow.
with tuition and transportation costs
Wow, really?
Per year?
per year. So that is why they're looking, and the costs keep escalating. So that is why we are looking to do this spend to save initiative to really reduce the costs of special education for this program and these identified students in for this specific type of identified special education, which is on the rise, and we keep seeing more and more identified students being referred to special education. So I'm excited about this, and I think it's going to be a fantastic program for Simsbury and Simsbury schools.
Diana, do you know
you have a
what,
date?
Diana? Do you know
Yes.
what the total amount is for out of placement students?
Of all
Approximately.
students or these other 6?
The one in
Like-
that are being outplaced, what the cost is?
Well, the
Per
total
year?
cost, I have to get the numbers. For the 6 students that we're looking to bring back in-house, we're looking at probably $2.5 to $3 million.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range, maybe 2 to 3 million. All outplaced students, I don't want to be misquoted, so I can get that data, because there are students that are not part of this program, and other identified students who are outplaced. And I forget the total number of students that are outplaced, but I think we have like 33 students that are outplaced currently.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
it's at a high cost. So anything we could do to mitigate those costs. And again, in the years 2, 3, and 4, if there is space available, tuition in some students from other districts, not taking spaces away from Simsbury students, but if space allows, bringing in tuition, which we have already been contacted by 3 districts asking if they can be put on like a wait list for their students.
Is this going to
So-
take effect probably not for next school year, but the year after that?
They're hoping it could be ready, and that's why we'd like to get this initiative and things started for fall of 2025 is the goal.
Good.
Yes,
Thank you.
Phase 1.
phase 1.
Mhm.
And is there a date for the Board of Finance hearing?
There is, I believe the Board of Finance hearing is this Thursday at the library.
Good.
Terry, if you have a question, you are on mute.
Got it. Is there going to be time for the public to ask questions about this program? Okay.
Yes, that's what the public hearing is for on Thursday.
Okay, because I want to because people have asked me questions and I have not given them answers because I wanted to come from the experts who are dealing with it.
Right. So here's the important thing to know about when people ask questions about the program, and they can certainly ask me questions because I do know a lot about the program. I mean, there's a lot of information we can give, but there's certain specifics that cannot be given because of the nature of the program. And, so, but if people have questions, whether it's financial questions or what kind of program and who are the students that are identified, the high school, the benefit of utilizing that building also is the students that are currently being educated in this program at the high school, which are in the modulars at the back of the building, which the modulars are outdated and past like expiration date. The cost to improve those and to get new modulars, you're looking at about $2 million in cost for new modulars. The benefit of having access to that building right next to the high school, especially for those that are identified at the high school, is not only do we have shared resources with an SRO officer, special education teachers, resource teachers such as, whether it's speech or occupational therapy or behavioral supports and other, psychologists. But in their least restrictive environment part of their education plan, it allows them to have access to regular education classes when deemed appropriate for those high school students. So without incurring transportation costs. And those are the students that are going to be benefiting from the most. But the students from K through 8th grade are usually students that would be identified in self-contained classrooms anyway and potentially outplaced, so wouldn't have that ability. But at the high school level, to have the ability to access peers and but even at the middle school and elementary school, they would then, being in district, have the ability to do the after school activities at the middle school and elementary schools where appropriate, and those peer unified sports or other activities that they can sign up for at the various schools.
Excellent. Okay.
So that was a big one, and that's been a long time coming. So again, public hearing Thursday at the library, 7 p.m. The other thing, we are clearly working on the budget. The fees for Simsbury Farms were approved for the pool season passes and pool and golf fees. The big thing to note about the pool passes this year is for Simsbury residents who buy pool passes, especially early, you get to be able to buy them at a discounted rate versus buying just as you go. Plus you get benefits. So you'll be able to, without paying additional fees, attend some of the events that they have there, like the foam parties. And when they have the slides, you'll get a special bracelet for your family when you get the season passes. And you don't have to pay as you go. So they're hoping to lock in some of those season pass holders with some additional benefits. The memorial pool is staying open this summer for the camps, and a lot of students who are identified and have summer programming as part of their IEP utilize that pool through the camp services that are part of their IEP. So it's great that Memorial Pool is staying open this summer. There was a question on whether it would be staying open because it is leaking, and we are looking to do something in that for that facility. But for right now, the camp tuition fees will cover any costs that it is incurring with the leak at this point.
Okay.
So I think those are the big things for that that we had that especially related to this commission. Of course, we had more people talking about the open space, and the only other thing I want to mention is we did have a presentation by Aquarian. Basically, we asked them to come in and do this presentation in response to the letters that everybody got from Aquarian about the lead pipes and the lead levels in homes. Now, people who have well water did not receive those letters because they may have leaded, but it's not an Aquarian issue. And they explained why the letters went out, and the letters, even they were written by the EPA. So it wasn't an Aquarian drafted letter, but they were mandated to be sending these letters out due to a federal legislation. You can go on the Aquarian website and they take you step by step. You can see the map where they have identified any areas and homes that have been identified with some lead connectors. And they will come out immediately and mitigate and replace and fix whatever needs to be done. They give you step-by-step process to learn how to identify and upload the pictures so that you can register your home as not lead pipes or whatever. Because until you do that, you are going to keep getting these letters until they have the map filled. For most of the Simsbury residents, it's really not an issue because the connectors where they are looking at were most often the lead connectors were not used when the homes were built. For the few that are, they are mitigating. Now, some people have said, but I've tested my water and there's lead levels in my water. And if that happens, you can contact Aquarian They will come out and retest your water. But often what's being found is it's not the Aquarian equipment that is maybe causing the lead, but personal home fixtures or things that were done in construction of the home that may be causing the lead levels that is not in Aquarian. They will also help to mitigate and give you resources if there is high levels found. Even if it's not an Aquarian problem, they won't be able to fix it for you, but they will help with resources and ways to get finances and help to get that fixed if there are high levels of lead in your water.
Cool.
So,
All right, Diana, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Diana? Doesn't look like it. So Diana, thank you very much.
sure.
Appreciate it. Senior Center report, Kathy.
Okay, thanks, Ed. Let's see, what do we have? We have coming up this week, members of the Simsbury Police Department are going to come over to the Senior Center this Thursday, the 23rd at 10 o'clock for our Coffee with the Cops program. So they'll be there to just talk to the seniors or anybody else that wants to come in, and we'll just have coffee and refreshments and conversation with the police department. So that's this Thursday, the 23rd at 10 o'clock. We'll be doing our AARP tax aid program again this year. For those that don't know, AARP tax aid is a program with volunteer preparers. We'll prepare your state and federal return. This is a free program. You don't have to be a Simsbury resident to participate. This will be held at the library starting February 13th. And we'll be offering tax preparation on Tuesdays and Thursdays through the middle of April. Folks can call the Senior Center at 860-658-3273 to make their appointment for taxes. And this Sunday, we're going to have a program in collaboration with the Simsbury Public Library. The program's called The Birds and Wildlife of the Galapagos Islands. That's this Sunday, the 26th of January from 2 to 3. That's in the Friends program room. That'll be presented by Bert Sirkin, who's a professional photographer, technologist, and educator. So that's Sunday, January 26th from 2 to 3 p.m. And finally, this is from Congresswoman Johanna Hayes' office. I don't know if any of you read the Patch article. She's starting a program here in Simsbury called Casework on Your Corner. So a caseworker from Johanna Hayes' office will be at the Senior Center at Eno Hall the second Wednesday of every month from 11 to 4. That'll be throughout the entire year. So the next date they will be there is February 12th. So caseworkers from her office will be there to help residents with issues involving federal agencies such as the Social Security Administration, Internal Revenue Service, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the U.S. Department of State, the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Service, and the U.S. Postal Service. People don't need to make an appointment. They can just show up to Eno Hall on the second Wednesday a month between 11 and 4. And that's everything I have.
Kathy, with regard to the tax assistance, how does that get out to folks? Is it just through the communicator?
It's in our newsletter. It's on our Facebook page. We do an email blast. And the library promotes it as well. So
Good.
We never have a problem. We fill up all the time.
I was going to say, usually get a lot of people for that.
So
Good.
yeah, it's very popular. It's a
Great.
nice service.
Yeah. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Kathy? Yeah. Seeing none. Lisa from the library, and Lisa, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit because I want you to talk about the Excellence in Public Libraries Award that you are applying for.
Sure. So for the first time, the Connecticut State Library is giving out awards to libraries that do particularly innovative or particularly engaging kinds of activities. So we are submitting for nomination our Sweet Connections program that we collaborated with you on. And of course, should we win, you will also get credit because we're grateful for everyone and all of our partners in the community, and especially our work with you on Sweet Connections. So Stephanie Prado, the head of Children's Services, is writing that application for us, and she has reached out to some of you for letters of support. And Deb Bibbins has also written a letter of support, and we also have some testimonials from the participants, and some of them are just so touching that they've made us cry. Which,
Nice.
if anyone doesn't have questions about that, I'll move into my next bullet point.
Great. I will get my letter of support out momentarily.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So we here at the live. Yes.
Lisa, just real quick, if you would like a letter of support from the Board of Selectmen liaison, you just let me know.
Okay.
That'd be a good one.
I'll email you tomorrow, Diana. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yep. So the library thought that Sweet Connections was so successful and so engaging for all of the community, and helping to end that loneliness. We would like to do another Sweet Connections program. So we're throwing it out to you to see if you would like to partner with us again.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that'd be great.
We're looking at, I think, early April for that. And it would be on the weekend again. It would probably be a Saturday afternoon. We wouldn't go the whole ice cream route because it's winter time. And we're thinking something more scaled back. So maybe just cookies and juice and then some kind of activity. And then the facilitated conversation again.
Good.
So more to come on that, because Chris Carney, who's our head of adult services, and I are meeting with Jan and Libby on Thursday to talk about other collaborations as well.
Okay, great.
The other thing we have coming up with the DEI Council is the Human Library on March 22nd. Sorry, Cheryl, if you were going to talk about that.
That's okay. Go ahead.
And then our teen services librarian, Mary Richardson, one of the things that she does is she runs Dungeons and Dragons games for the kids, for the tweens and the teens. And she has found handouts that the Dungeons and Dragons people have made specifically for people with dyslexia. So she's made them available now too, which is great.
Good.
Because Dungeons and Dragons is one of our most popular kinds of things for the kids of that age level. That's my report for this evening. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Lisa.
Could you repeat the Human Library date? I'm sorry, March
22nd.
22nd.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, Lisa. Age-friendly community, Jan.
Thank you, Ed. Basically, we are working towards creating our action plan to submit to AARP. As you all know, we have 4 different goals that we are working on. The social, excuse me, social participation goals, which Libby has been helping on our subcommittee, has been working on that. And as Lisa just said, we're going to meet with her to talk about some ideas. Housing, Cheryl and Mike Jennings have been working very hard on coming up with things to both increase, we're talking about strategies to increase availability of smaller and more affordable housing, but as well as accessible opportunities. We are, one of the items that came up was the idea, and I'll be talking with Lisa about this, is the possibility of having a trade fair for aging in place solutions. You know, that so that we could get a number of people sometime perhaps in the fall, but again, that's brand new to Lisa. This is the first time that Lisa has heard of that, but that's something that we would like to do. As far as transportation goes, Kate has been working hard on that and come up with a lot of the things that we already do, as well as a lot of the advisory things that we will promote to the town. And our outdoor spaces and buildings, I mentioned the solar table, as well as walk audits. That kind of, the idea for that is behind, kind of crosses a couple of categories there in terms of our, the domains of living from AARP. And many of our action plan items will be continuing to advise suggestions for the town. So you also wanted me to talk a little bit about the challenge grant. Is that right?
Yes. Please.
Okay.
Are you prepared to?
Hmm?
Are you prepared to, or?
A little bit, sure.
Okay,
There's a 2025 AARP Community Challenge Grant, which is due March 5th. The Community Challenge Grant that they offer 3 of them this year. There's a flagship grant where you can apply for a grant to get anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. There's a capacity building grant, which is roughly $2,500. And it includes a lot of coaching and webinar access. And then there's the third one is what they call a demonstration grant, which is probably a little more than anything that we could apply for because it's about high-speed internet. It's also about pedestrian safety, reconnecting communities that are split by infrastructure, and offering housing design competitions. So the one that seems most likely for us is a capacity building grant of like $2,500. Things that we were thinking about possibly. The issue here is we have to have a partner who is a fiduciary because we are not, obviously, because we are an advisory commission. So we will need to find somebody who is interested in being a partner with us on that.
Dan,
But
we couldn't, on the eligibility, it did indicate that we could be part of a governmental process, so the town couldn't be that.
It doesn't matter as long as you're a 501(c) or a government department, a town department. But you need a fiduciary, and a fiduciary could be anybody who's a 501(c)(3). But we as a commission don't have that status.
So it
Right,
can't
but
be, go ahead.
I was going to say this should go to myself and Mark Nelson to have them do this grant for us. And yeah, because the town, if they're allowing a governmental entity, then the town would be able to act as the fiduciary.
Okay,
Right.
that was what I
Right.
thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we did all the legwork on the grant ourselves, Jan, myself,
Would we have to? That
then give
would
it
be
to
up
Mark?
to, I mean, whoever's writing the grant. We
Right,
could write the grant if the town would sign off on it.
right. That's what I'm thinking. Would that work, Diana?
Yeah, I mean, or we do it in collaboration because there may be some information that the town has that's needed for the grant. But the town would probably need information from our side. So maybe send Ed and Jan, and send to me and Mark and the 4 of us, because I've talked to Mark at length about having grants done for A&D, and he does agree that they need to be done. So I think this is a great opportunity to make him be able to put his money where his mouth is.
Good.
So
All right. Thanks, Diana.
Yeah.
Jen, I haven't had a chance to look at the application yet, but I could certainly download that.
Yeah, and it's due March 5th. The other thing that's whatever we decide we want to do, the things that are kind of obvious to me are the walk audit, that and also the home fit guide modifications.
Right.
That's another idea that there's also disaster prep.
Yeah.
But those are the 3 areas that they're most interested in.
Good.
And it has to be done within the year. Whatever the project is,
Right,
has to be done
right.
within the calendar year.
I did, Jan, you probably saw this. There is an question and answer webinar on January 29th about this grant. So
Yeah.
at 2.
I don't know if anybody else is interested in going to that, but that is January 29th.
What time is that, Jan? Do you know?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
2 o'clock, yeah, 2 to 3.
That's a Zoom?
Yep, everything is a Zoom. They have their webinars are always available to any of us because we are part of the AARP age-friendly community.
Right.
So
And-
any one of us can go to their webinars.
And they're recording it for viewing afterwards too, so.
Correct.
Good, good. Thanks, Kathy. Anything else, Jan?
Not unless anybody has any questions.
All right. Good job to you and your committee as always. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Ed.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I'd forgotten one thing, and I have one correction. So one thing that I forgot to mention, and when Jan mentioned transportation, it made me remember. I did want to give, because it's something that this group has talked about and gone to. SIMPAC had a board meeting, and I am the Board of Selectmen liaison to Simsbury Meadows Performing Arts Center, and we have discussed at length the issues that surrounding the accessible parking for the concerts in their summer program, and they are making a proposal. They're working on a real solution to this, and it's not going to be, oh, the police let them come and park here, because it's just not working. So they are proposing that they will actually have a designated accessible parking area, which is going to be located behind like in that Ace Hardware, next to Ace Hardware parking lot, almost behind Eno here, down the street here on Station Street. And they are renting vehicles. They're the larger than golf carts, but because they can hold multiple people, that they will then be shuttling people with their guests and their chairs and their coolers or whatever else they have, shuttling them directly to the gate from the car accessible parking area. It will be free. It will be with special tags, and if you have an accessible parking tag, and it will be cordoned off specifically for accessible parking. And they're hoping that that would be a good solution for some of the issues that they have had. But they are also welcoming ideas and feedback if other people are saying like, oh, I don't, it may or may not work for one reason or the other. But I think that that is actually a better solution than trying to have the accessible parking spaces directly at the venue, because they're limited. They're not free, since that is parking area that is run by an outside vendor. And the drop off, it's so congested that, the wait to have people dropped off and then come and picked up is as Cheryl has talked about, exorbitant, and it's ridiculous. So they're hoping that this will be an actual meaningful solution to what they recognize is an issue.
Are those carts going to be accessible? I mean,
Yes.
how do you get in a cart if you can't walk?
Well, that's one of the things they're working on. Like, they're going to have the cart come to you, and that is a feedback that, so I'm not saying that this is something new that was just at the last board meeting. So it is a suggestion that somebody has made, and they are willing to research it and make sure that it works. They want to make sure the carts are accessible. And if you have suggestions that it's because it's still early and they're working on it now, so that it would be ready for this summer. So, because they're not going to get around potentially, if you still want to get dropped off, but understand that drop off is run by the parking area is run by an outside vendor, and the police are there monitoring who is allowed in and out when it's especially full. So the drop off area, if that's what you choose to do, people can still be dropped off there, but understand that the wait still may be longer, that this is a solution for those that we need more accessible parking than has been available for those that have requested it.
Thank you,
And it's
Diana.
free.
Actually, it's under new business. I had initiated that. Those of you who have known me for a long time know I like to stir the pot. So that pot was sufficiently stirred about a month ago. And I have more information I am going to talk about under new business.
Oh, great. And then the other thing, I just want to correct the public hearing for the thing. They're actually setting the public hearing for the Board of
Okay.
Finance. So when I have the public hearing information, I will make sure to distribute it. But there is charter review meeting on Thursday as well. So if you want
Right.
information on that, that's at the library. That is on Thursday at the library. So that's all.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you.
Yep.
Let's move on to old business. So the Century Santa program. Again, thank you, everybody who was in attendance. It was a great event. Claire, thank you. I know you couldn't be there, but thank you for what you did in getting it up and running. And I just wanted to know if anybody had any comments about it. I thought it was a great event. I forgot, how many people do we have? Does anybody remember what numbers were?
I think, well, my clicker said, I think 136. So I don't know if that sounds about right, but that's what the physical clicker had on it when I got it back. So
Oh, good. Good. Okay.
Yeah, I was doing the clicking, and we incorporated into that not just the kids that were there, but the parents, the relatives, as well as the staff that was helping. So that
Great.
total number included all of that.
Good.
that's great. Thank you. Nan.
Santa did a
I
great
thought the new
job.
Santa was great.
I did,
liked
yeah,
him
he
a
did a
lot.
great job.
I got to see him at the Housing Authority for the Christmas lunch. And he was just, couldn't have been nicer and more enthusiastic about the event. He would love to come back, you know, he was really good and really great with the kids
Great.
and the adults.
Yes, yes. Great.
And everybody's pictures were sent out in a timely basis, private, like each one got just their own picture, except for Cheryl that I accidentally sent somebody else's picture.
That's okay.
But at least it was Cheryl. But I just wanted to let everybody know that I did send out the pictures of all the pictures privately to each participant. And
Great.
thank you to David who took all the pictures.
Yes, great job. Thank you.
Yep.
And thank you for the mugs that you gave to every child.
Mm.
Yeah, that was great.
That was
That was
great.
nice.
They loved it.
That was nice.
Yeah. Another great program. Claire, thank you again very much for organizing it. And thank you,
Oh,
everybody,
sure.
for being there and helping out.
I had a ton of help, and I can't thank you those enough that were able to fill in for me. I'm just now getting out of the month of sickness in my household. But yeah, I'm glad like I said, with the Halloween program too, I'm really glad to have gone through this cycle. There's just so many moving parts, as Kathy and Diana know so very well. And so I'm very glad to have gone through it. And I'm really hopeful for next year. I think it will be really easy to get even more sponsors, and then we can get more money and support where we need it to make it even bigger. And I think the idea of making it possibly even like a 2-day event might be feasible with the demand. So I think that's something just to noodle on for this next Christmas time.
Great. Great. Thank you, Claire. Anybody else have
Thank
any
you.
other comments? Davina, did you had a suggestion, if I recall, about a quiet room?
I have so many suggestions.
Was there a,
I think I took notes during the event and I sent them on to Claire. We talked about things got quite noisy at one point, and we had one child who refused to come in. And so we were talking about how I believe there are 3 rooms where Santa was, and then there's 2 little rooms next to it. And maybe we could set up one of those rooms as a quiet space for people who are having, who are overstimulated by the noise, and perhaps to gently remind people to be quiet, because the loudness wasn't necessarily coming from the participants. A lot of it was from the parents. So I don't know, have a shushing finger printed everywhere, or just tell people to hush.
Right.
But yeah, that was the only thing about the quiet room, that maybe we should space.
Well, there was the emergency door alarm going off, and
Yeah, that was interesting.
That
That's
was-
inside the closet. So that was just odd. But next time we just need to not go into that the closet behind Santa. Also, the red chair we didn't end up getting the red chair delivered. So I'm wondering if next time, maybe, I don't know how big this chair is. I haven't seen it, but maybe one of us can just pick it up and bring it. So that we don't have a last minute snafu with Ed and I running upstairs to go get the chair, which was fun.
It was
but
fun, yeah.
It was fun. Yeah, I didn't mind.
All right, so if anybody else has any other comments, if you send them on to Claire. Again, Lisa, thank you very much for allowing us to use the library. We certainly appreciate that.
We're happy to have you here. And as far as I know, the red chair is missing. Unless you have something I don't. It's missing. We're
It
looking
was
for
at
it.
the senior center, right, Kathy? Is that the one?
Yeah. Who requested for the chair to be moved?
Stephanie.
Oh.
Yeah, because we had a blue chair for Santa.
Yes, we
Yeah,
went
we
up and
couldn't
got
find
the
the
blue
red
Yeah,
chair.
we went upstairs, yeah.
We
So the
didn't
red
have red
chair,
print.
I think the facilities, the town facilities was supposed to bring it to the library. It was requested and everything. So I
And no
guess
one could
it's
find
missing.
it.
They couldn't find it.
And it's
No, no
still
one can find
missing?
As
no.
far as I know, it's still missing. Tom Taberski was trying to track it down because we had it for Simsbury Celebrates.
Oh,
Okay.
It's
okay.
here somewhere.
So
All
then
right.
All right.
That's
It's
all
not
right.
at the library.
Well, we have 11 months to find it, so
Or you can
You
use a
put up
blue chair.
posters.
that's fine. All right, again, thank you all. The Simsbury Housing Policy Advisory Committee, Jen could not be here tonight. Cheryl, do you have any update on that?
We are cruising quickly towards the end of this. We had another rather spirited meeting a couple weeks ago, where we agreed to have one more meeting because we didn't finish. We had to table some of the suggestions for further review, so we decided that we were going to meet again. And we have whittled down our 75 different suggestions, options down to, we're hoping to get down to about 10. So the whittling process is severe, and there's a lot of opinions about what goes in and what goes out. But we're close. So we're hoping that after the February meeting, we will have a draft. And soon after that, it will go to the Board of Selectmen. Some of the issues that we are discussing are now already being discussed by the zoning commission. So there's already public hearings going on some of these issues, like the inclusive housing proposal, which is made up of a bunch of different parts. And, the public has a lot to say about it. So they have, I think they're on round 3 of the public hearing for that. So we're going to let that, the last one will be before our February meeting. So part of the reason for extending our tenure was to get that last hearing done, because we want zoning to have every opportunity to get all the information they need before we make a suggestion, we make a recommendation, because if it's already done, it's done. We don't need to recommend it. Something else will go on the list.
Okay, good. Thank you, Cheryl. And while you're still on, Cheryl, we had initially talked about doing a social connections program in concert with the DEI Council.
We did.
We did. And I'm wondering if we can parlay that in with the library.
I was thinking the same thing as I was listening to Lisa. So as Lisa probably knows from her DEI attendance, we did arrange a date for the library for April 6th, which is Sunday afternoon at 2:00. So Chris Carney was at our last meeting, because I don't think you were able to make it, Lisa. So I'm hoping that he put us on the calendar because that was the arrangement.
I'll
So
check.
we do?
I will check.
Oh, thank you. So I think based on what you said, maybe we should collaborate and make that all one program. We had discussed, what type of activity. That I've been looking into some suggestions. There's a lot of really great ideas out there for people getting together and doing things, having some snacks and just talking. One of the things we found out is that it's important to do this on a regular basis, because it's important for the people to form these relationships. They will see each other at these programs, and it kind of becomes a regular thing. And as the DEI Council is thrilled to be able to support this, and I've been part of this group forever, and I know it's part of our mission. So I think that would be great if we could do that. I mean, little things like, what if you could collect people's old recipes and make them in a little book for them, or do something that, sort of connects, the past and the present. How do you put those recipes, online if you want to share them with your niece or nephew, things like that. There's all sorts of things we could talk about, do together, make something. So I was hoping that a couple of people from this commission would raise their hand to meet with a couple of people from the DEI Council to sort of mesh those ideas together.
Do we have any volunteers?
I'll do it.
Margaret,
I'll do it.
Jan?
Oh, thanks, Terry.
Great, good.
And Ann, great.
Tina and Margaret. great.
Cheryl, would you involve the library in that meeting too, please?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Okay,
Great,
so
thank you.
I will make an email to Terry and Davina, did you raise your, oh, thank you.
Margaret and Jan?
And I have a few people
do it,
from
Tim.
DEI.
Yeah, Cheryl,
Mhm,
I think either me or Libby, because we'd like to connect it to the
mhm.
Yeah.
age-friendly community social inclusion aspect, if we could.
All right.
So
Excellent.
either one of us, yeah.
Yep.
I'll do it.
Thanks, Libby.
Mhm.
All right. So I think that would be great. I think everybody has got wonderful ideas, and I'm really looking forward to this. So I think we just need a smaller group to put all the pieces together. And with Lisa's guidance, having done one already, I think it'll be easier now. So
Great, good. Thank you, Cheryl.
that'll
Thank
be
you,
great.
Lisa. Thank you, everybody who's volunteered to help out with this.
Oh, and just to follow up on what
Yes.
Lisa said about the human library, other DEI
Yes.
news. If anybody knows somebody who might be an interesting book for the human library, we can still take volunteers to be books. So have a think on that. You can send me the person's name and what you think they would contribute to the event. And we will get in touch with them. All the books and the librarians have to go through a prescribed training course. So we'd like to do that as soon as possible. We'll start training February 22nd, I think. So it would be great, to get everybody on board ahead of time. And
Carol-
books can be, have an interesting background, have an interesting story to tell.
So I do know a few people who might be willing to participate. Is there a website or an information sheet so that they can know how many hours they're committing? Because with the drive and all that, them being senior.
Right. The Human Library is an international organization.
Okay.
So if you Google it,
Google
you
it.
will find the Human Library
Okay.
setup. It is run in, I think, 34 countries around the world.
Cool.
The last one we did, it was us, Seattle, and I think Sydney, Australia, all on the same day. So, it's a large organization, and they have rules, and and they do a really great job with their training program because they do it every day. So it's they've got a lot of good information there.
Great, good. Thank you, Cheryl.
Yep.
The last thing under old business is I had mentioned previously about doing a program called Coffee with the A&D Commission. And if we were meeting in person tonight, I was going to pass around a sign-up sheet. We were going to initially look at it the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. We were going to start in February, but now I was talking to Kathy and we decided we'll postpone it till March. So we are going to be doing that on March 11th and March 25th, which is the second and fourth Tuesday. At next month's meeting, I am going to pass around a sign-up sheet, and I'm hoping to get 2 commissioners to attend. It starts at 11:30, lunch is at 12. They start serving coffee around 11:30. My thought process is that we have a couple commissioners that would meet with the seniors prior to lunch, have coffee with them, talk about any issues that they decide. Maybe we could update them on things that we are doing. Those of you who sign up will get this cool little badge that will identify you as a member of the commission. Hopefully, and then we're going to do that every month going forward on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday. So
What's in the bag?
what's in the bag?
A tag.
The
Okay.
tag. It's a tag.
Tag.
I was hoping it was a bag and then there'd be some fun stuff in
Tag.
it.
Lydia,
Oh,
I
like
will get a bag
swag.
just for you.
Gives you your disability swag.
And we'll put the badge in the bag.
I want it.
I have a question. Do you
Yes.
want the same commissioners at every meeting, or can it be who's ever available?
I think who's ever available. It'd be nice to get different commissioners on different days so that the seniors get to know everybody.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? All right. New business. So I know we just got finished talking about the Sensory Santa program, but now we are moving ahead and looking at the picnic at the farms, the initial planning. Margaret, you wanted this on the agenda?
Yes. So I wanted to just get some more folks interested in helping to plan. We could use folks to raise funds. We could use folks to disseminate information. I'd also like to talk about, should we change up the way it's done? So one thought I had is, what if we didn't do a meal, but we did a lot of activities and a lot of treats? But again, like, this is just some brainstorming I'd like to do, because, the stuff that's happened over the last couple of years, that kind of stuff's going to keep happening. So how do we safeguard against that so we don't have a big, huge amount of food left over when the weather turns on us? So I just like, basically people to raise their hands and see if anyone's willing to work with me and try to get this going, maybe take a different approach.
Claire?
Yay.
Anybody else? I will also, Margaret.
Great. So I saw Claire, Davina, Libby, Ed. Good.
All right. And Deb?
And Deb.
Okay.
Thank you.
It'll be here before
What's the
you know
date
it.
on that
in there.
again, Margaret? Sorry.
Do we have a date,
Well, we
Margaret?
have yet to determine the date, but it's usually like the 3rd Saturday in July. But again, that's with an N of 2. I don't know what it was before that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Lisa. So as I mentioned before, and as Diane had mentioned, I had been talking to Christine Lill, who's the acting executive director over at the SIMPAC about a month or maybe even 2 months ago, about accessibility at the PAC. I'm actually having a meeting with her this Thursday to talk about those issues, accessibility issues. My understanding was, I know Diane is no longer on, but she informed me that the PAC is actually responsible for the handicap parking at the PAC. Those spaces that are to the left of the band stage. My biggest issue, and people know this, is that I don't believe that people with disabilities should be paying for parking. So that is one of the issues I am bringing up with her. And then we did talk about the other accessibility of transporting individuals. Though that what I learned tonight is new to me, so I will speak to her in more detail about that and how that could potentially work. But again, my big issue was with the handicapped people or the disabled people paying to park. Does anybody else have any issues that they would like me to bring up with Christine when I meet with her Thursday? Anything specific that they would like me to bring up?
I would like them to have a drop off for any car with a handicap placard to be able to drive in, drop off, drive out again, and not have to park in the handicap space.
And the drop off would be, well, the other thing, the drop off would be where the handicap parking is currently, or on the other side on Iron Horse.
Well, it doesn't really matter as long as the police are going to let you through. And it has to be at a curb cut, you know,
Yep.
so you're, and you can't get through that guardrail, as I found out,
Right.
anywhere than at the entrances. So, you know, just swinging your leg over the guardrail to get down on the grass doesn't work. So it
Okay.
has to be a space where you can drop off, and you have to, so you have a handicap placard on your car, you get to go drop off, and that person can drop you off and go back out again. They don't have to take a space.
Okay.
Do we
Anybody
have
have any-
shuttle? Do we have shuttle buses dropping off people?
We do, but they aren't accessible.
Yeah, you have to be able to get on a school bus.
Yeah.
Right, but do we, so one thing I've noticed from time to time is the shuttle bus will drop off the people who are disabled, and then that person will park in a handicapped spot, which I think is a waste.
That's true.
I don't know if that occurs.
Well, that's what
during
I
these
mean. The
events
go
or
in
not.
and out thing is,
Right, right. Especially when it's a van.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
for anything. I mean, you don't need a
Yeah.
handicap spot once the handicapped person is out, as
Right.
long as you're
Yeah.
going to let the people in and out to get them.
Right.
Can we
Right.
recruit the van service that we were talking about? We had them come and speak to us, that they had the handicap accessible vans for people who use wheelchairs. Maybe Simpac can connect with them and offer that as a service.
It's a good idea. It's just very cumbersome, and it's usually
No,
one
that they
person at
would
a
arrange it.
time. It's
Have
one
them-
person. Yeah,
Have them arrange it. Have them set it
Yeah.
up. They could have a system perhaps.
right. It's still mostly one person at a time in a van, and it's a lot. And
I don't know why you couldn't have both, or even
Yeah,
all three
it's-
approaches, the parking lot off-site, the van service,
Yep.
and the individual personal cars dropping people off.
Yep. I mean, I actually had somebody, you know, who works at the PAC, knew my predicament, and sent a golf cart down to pick me up on Iron Horse, like drove all the way down Iron Horse to pick me up. And which was very nice of them, but they only took me. It was very difficult to get in the cart. They had to take my walker and fold it up on the back of the cart. And there was all these other people, and I felt terrible because it would have taken all night for them to drive up and
Mhm.
down, and pick up one person at a time to
Mhm.
do this. So unless they have really big carts, I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
And you have
concern
to s-
that there won't be enough spots if they let people with handicap placards through?
Yeah.
So,
They
If-
sell them out all the time.
so if they recruit a service that can bring people in, then they know that that bus is not going to stay. It's not going to take up a parking spot.
Right.
It will leave. So maybe that'll be something that would make them more open to it.
Maybe.
I'll bring it up, Davina.
And Ed, when I did ask, I called about the handicap spaces because, you know,
Mhm.
I like to complain too.
Yeah.
And
We do that well, Cheryl.
I know they told me that it was controlled by the Hartford Symphony.
Well, I thought that too, but then when I asked Christine, she said no, that it was, because I was looking for a contact at the Hartford Symphony to bother them, and she
Yep.
told me that it was the Simpak that was in charge of it.
That's what happened to me. And I said, you guys had rehearsed this, didn't you?
Yeah, so, well, fortunately, I have a couple of Rotarians that are on the board of the Simpak, so they've already heard this before, so, and they'll hear it again. But if anybody has any suggestions, feel free to email me prior to the meeting. I'm meeting with her at 9:30 on Thursday. So if you have anything that you think of in the interim, just please feel free to send me an email and I'll make sure I bring it up with her. What I wanted to do is, I sent out earlier today, I don't know if you all had to have a chance to look at it. I was going to pass it out if we were meeting in person, was the budget for 2020, 23-24, and then for 24-25. This is our commission budget At the end of, and Kathy, if you're still on, if I am, just
Yeah.
help me out if I'm not getting this correctly. At the end of the fiscal year 2024, we had a balance of $1,804.73. In 24-25, we received $2,379.73. And to date, we paid out $1,181.25. So we have a balance of $1,198.48.
So just this does not include the gifts from the Sensory Santa. That was about
Okay.
$600, so we'll have to get that in there. But that was the donations from Lions and the auxiliary.
Right. And then in March in 24, the Simsbury Granby Rotary Club gave 1,000, and we had a donation of $1,000 from First Church.
Right.
So we are, I suspect, looking at doing another Super Thursday in May.
Mm-hmm.
So we would need to secure some funds for that, because it looks like we've been averaging about between 1,100 and 1,200 for the soup and sandwich from Fitzgerald's.
Well, we're going to go with Antonio's now, right?
I'm sorry,
That's
Antonio.
okay. No, that's okay.
Yep. Oh, I'm looking at. Yeah, so Antonio's actually was considerably less than Fitzgerald's was.
Do you know if the prices have changed since Geisler's bought Fitzgerald's?
I don't know, because we went over to Antonio's
Yeah.
prior
No,
to
I know. I
that
was just curious.
change. So you think they went down?
I have no idea.
Does anything go down?
Yeah, right.
Well, it was for the it was what, $875 a person, Terry and Deb, right? Was it $875?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I think if we could get them back down to $8, make the sandwich a little smaller or something.
Okay.
So figure that $8 per person.
Forgot the mail. It should have been 8.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Terry and Deb, are you looking at, I think, was it May, Kathy, that we did a Super Thursday event?
Yeah, and I have, we have May 8th and May 15th is available. The space is
I'm just
available.
check my calendar. I'm not here either those days, but that's okay.
Deb?
Well, we can look
You
at,
can't-
it doesn't have to be May. I mean,
No, did we did it in April before, Kathy?
Yeah, didn't we do it? I thought we did it in April once.
Towards the end
I
of
know we
April?
did it the first week in May last year.
Yeah.
Does that work for you, Terry? Like the first
April would work better.
April?
Just a second.
Deb, but can you unmute?
She put in the chat that she can't.
Oh, okay. You can hear us though, right, Deb? Okay. Does April work for you?
April's better than May.
Okay. April.
Unless it's the May would be okay if it was May 19th, the week of May 19th.
All right, hold on, let me look.
Okay. I can't remember what dates you said.
I had May 8th or May 15th.
Yeah. May 22nd, that Thursday.
Hold on, let me look.
Okay.
May. Yeah, May 22nd works.
Okay, I can do May
Okay.
22nd.
All right,
Deb's
let's,
at her niece's house, so that's why she might be having trouble, but I'll
Okay.
tell her.
okay,
she's
well, let's
listening.
pencil that in. We'll
Okay.
shoot for May 22nd.
All right, let me get a pencil.
All right, great.
So on the budget, half of the First Church donation was designated for the picnic. But the picnic expenditures wasn't reflected in anywhere that I could see. So I don't really understand the
The picnic spreadsheet is separate. That comes out of the general fund.
right, but half of that First Church money was supposed to go to the picnic. So I don't know if that's a true reflection of what's really there.
For the 24-25.
Yeah, the previous, July of 24.
Actually, it'd be the 23-24 budget. Okay. On March 14th, the donation was $1,000. I'm sorry. May
Yeah.
13th, $1,000 from the First Church.
Right. So I don't know if we really only
Yeah,
have
I'll
13
check. Let me
members.
check on that. I'll check
Okay.
with Karen tomorrow. See what. Yeah, I'll check on that.
Okay. All right, in keeping with budgets, as you all know, I submitted a budget proposal to the town for FY 25-26. The budget I submitted was for $10,500. My understanding it was reduced by $1,500. So there's still $9,000 that is in the budget. And my understanding is they are doing a little bit different this year. They aren't going to have the Saturday meetings by department, where the department usually went before the Board of Selectmen to go over the budgets. Kathy, do you know what the process is this year? I understand it's going to be a little different.
I don't yet. No, I
Okay.
don't.
I think it's going to be either in February or March where they are going to be looking at the department budgets and then make a proposal to the Board of Finance. And then traditionally what happens once the Board of Finance approves the budget, it goes to town referendum, which is usually held in the beginning of May. So as it stands right now, we still have $9,000 proposed for next fiscal year, 25-26. And once we find out when those meetings are, I will certainly attend on our behalf, and hopefully we'll see if we could get that approved. Okay. I had talked to Kristen. Some of you, a couple commissioners had asked me about having access to our Facebook or the web page, and Kristen indicated that they do limit the amount of folks that have access. Right now, it's just me. But I am willing to give that up to somebody who's probably more knowledgeable about doing the web page. And was it Davina? Was that you that indicated your interest in that?
In doing Facebook?
The web page?
No, not the webpage. I mean, I've never done the webpage, so no, it wasn't
You
me.
mean the Facebook?
Facebook I could do, yes.
Also, I think Jen said she'd be willing to do it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Jen?
can too as a
Okay.
backup.
Yeah.
All right, Claire, good.
But
Okay.
they wouldn't give us access to the actual web page of the town website, would they?
Well, yeah, they would.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you
Um,
have
really
access
make
to
that
that now, Ed?
I'm sorry?
You have access to the website now?
I do.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, we can have some fun.
yeah.
Yeah, you can really mess that up.
Just the aging and
I-
disability page, right?
Correct, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Ah,
not the
okay,
whole,
I'm so worried.
not the whole town webpage, but yeah, the aging disability webpage. I do go on periodically, but I am not really adept at
Yeah.
doing, working on the webpage. So if anybody else has any expertise in doing that, be glad to turn that over to somebody. So just let me know if you do have any interest. But aside from
Yeah,
that,
Claire
if,
does, Claire. Claire does.
she does?
Yes, she does.
Claire.
Yeah, I work on the web, so
Yeah, there we go.
could probably figure it out.
Oh, okay. All right, Claire, let me know if you'd be willing to do that. I would gladly
Okay.
transfer power over to you. And I will let Kristen know that. if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Great, thank you.
Of course.
But Davina, you're still good for the Facebook page?
Sure.
All right, great, thank you both. So the other thing I was going to pass out, the Farmington Valley Health District just put out their community health improvement plan for 2024 to 2029. This was actually last week or the week before last. One of their priority areas, number 3, was optimal well-being for older adults. And within that, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 objectives. And I thought it would be really important, Jan, for our age-friendly community, because a lot of it speaks to what you're doing with the age-friendly community program. I'm not sure that this has gone out globally yet. I just received a hard copy, and I would be willing to make a copy. I could make a copy for you, but then I'll make copies for the February meeting to distribute to everybody.
Great.
They are also looking for partners to work on this community health improvement plan. And
Great.
Not being shy, I volunteered ourselves, specifically on that particular objectives, that aspect.
Who is the new person over there now at the Farmington Valley?
Jean Cretennis is still there as the exec.
Okay.
Yeah. They have, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Is she going to be a partner with us?
She is.
Great.
Yeah. Because I told her I'd partner with her, she partnered with us. So it was a great deal, you know. So yeah, so I'll be glad to share this with everybody at the next meeting. Next month, I don't know if you all know Liz Cornish. Liz is with New Seasons in Life, and she actually put out a document for making home improvements for the elderly and what steps need to be taken in order to do that. And again, it's right within our age-friendly community objectives. So I asked her if she'd be willing to come to the February meeting, and she said she would. So she will be our guest speaker at that meeting, which is on February 18th. And as long as it's not 3 degrees, we'll be meeting in person at Eno. That is what I have under new business. Anybody has any other business to bring up? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I just wanted to, I know I talked to Terry, or we emailed today about the fashion show. I know it seems far off, but if we wanted to pick a date so we could book the space.
Yeah, I think we should.
I was looking at October 9th or October 16th.
The 9th would be better for me. I'm not here the 16th. I think we did it on the 10th last year, so the 9th would be great.
That works. Okay.
Does that work for?
Does that work for everybody?
And yes, I couldn't be there last year, so I'll make sure I'm there this year.
Okay.
How's the well?
Don't ask.
And
Oh,
also,
sorry.
also, are we going to do a spring sensory friendly event?
Like a movie or something?
Because we might want to look at booking that space at the library as well.
What did we do last year?
We did a movie and popcorn and
Yeah, we did.
snacks.
Was that in March, April?
That was March, I
March?
believe.
I think it was March. Was it in March?
I don't know if people have any thoughts on if they want
It
to.
was on
Look at the movie.
March, oh no, that was Social Connections, was March 23rd. Was it the 24th or 25th?
Hold on.
I had something on the 24th 24th, 2:00 at the library.
That sounds like the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the 24th at 1
24th.
on my
Yeah.
calendar.
Yep,
Okay, 1:00.
2:30, yep.
Okay. Who was responsible for that last year?
I think it was, it was pretty simple. It's just, I think I reserved the movie and Diana brought the popcorn machine. I picked up some drinks and candy.
Do we want to have a date for that? Well, we'd have to check with the library, right? See what they have available. It'll be a Sunday again.
It
Is it a
can
holiday
be.
time?
When we figure out a date, Kathy, I can make a poster for it and help however I can.
Okay. Yeah.
Great. Thank you all again. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, one other thing.
Go ahead, Jan.
I forgot to mention that one of the things that we do for the AARP age-friendly community every year is we have to fill out a survey that says where we are, what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. I have been notified that they particularly liked what I had written in our survey about what I was proudest of that we'd done today, and they intend to use that in a forum that they have coming up, a
Oh,
national.
nice.
Wow.
And what I said, well, what I said we were proud of was that we are a small group and that we are an advisory commission, and that I was proudest that our voice was being heard a little more amongst town officials. And I think that is true.
Great.
So
Great.
that's kind of what's going up in their next forum that is in January.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Good job, Jan.
Good job, Jan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
hey.
Well, it's good for us to get out there and talk to somebody else who had 9 people in their little subcommittee in
Mhm.
Maine. And they're doing an amazing number of things too. So, small groups who are just advisory really can do as a lot of stuff, good stuff.
Absolutely. Great.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anybody have anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to
Claire.
adjourn.
I do.
Claire,
I'm so sorry.
That's
Sorry.
okay. I
Just
can't see your
very-
picture up here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Very quickly.
There you
I
are.
still do want to do the to get started on having the get-togethers for parents of children with disabilities.
Yes.
I have not forgotten about it. I have shopped it around to parents that I know, and everyone seems very excited about the possibility of that happening. So maybe I'll just, I know we need to adjourn. Maybe I'll just shoot an
That's
email
okay.
to everybody and you can just get back to me if you're interested in kind of being on a little subcommittee with me and figuring that out. I welcome all ideas and
Okay.
tips on how we can get that off the ground. So
You want it on the agenda for February, or would that be too soon?
no, that'd be great. Let's do
Okay.
that.
All right. You got it.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. All right, welcome. Anything else? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, if we have a second.
Second.
Thank you. It is 7:18. Thank you all for doing this on Zoom. Stay warm.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
For over 40 years, SCM has been the voice of our town,
bringing us together through local programming,
education, and live broadcasts.
SCM isn't just about television.
It's about empowering our community,
ensuring our voices are heard during government meetings,
and celebrating milestones
like our high school graduations.
But today, SCM faces a challenge.
Our funding structure is based on television subscriptions.
And it's no secret, people have been cutting the cord.
With a shift to internet-only subscriptions,
SCM receives less revenue,
even though all our programming is freely available online.
We need your support.
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 Your donation can make a difference.
It will ensure that SCM remains open,
continues to educate our youth,
and keeps our community informed.
Thanks to SCM, I've been honing my creative skills, helping me work towards my college degree.
SCM is crucial for keeping our community connected.
SCM isn't just here to broadcast local events.
they're actually preserving Simsbury's history.
Join us.
Join us in preserving Simsbury's voice.
Simsbury's voice.
Together we can ensure that SCM continues to thrive
for generations to come.
Visit our website
or scan the QR code on your screen to make your donation.
Every contribution
counts.
Thank you for supporting Simsbury Community Media,
where your town,
your schools,
and your government come together.